Dre the Great here, and welcome back to another combat sports related video. As you can tell by the title, this is about Conor McGregor. Is Conor McGregor the GOAT? And where is this all coming from? He actually, I believe it was, I'm not sure, I think the most a few days ago, he posted some tweets about the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So let's read the tweets before we begin. I'm gonna have the picture here and somewhere, like the picture of the tweets. And so first tweet, GOAT thread. These are by Conor, by the way, all by Conor. The array of finishes across two divisions with champion status in one. Anderson Silva is the #1 MMA GOAT. My array of finishes across three divisions with champion status in two. I'm #2 if not tied in one. However, still active. #1 is fully secured by career end and easily. Okay. Next one. GSP is in at #3, much less array of finishes but champion status in two divisions. He is far behind though. Reasons: left 170 after much damage taken in a questionable decision. Never re-engaged 170 successors. Bottled Anderson fight. Only moved when one-eyed fighter presented. Played safe. Okay. Continue. John Jones is #4, maybe tied for #3. More array of finishes in St. Pierre, still active, but champion status in just one. Reasons: multiple lackluster decision performances and a questionable decision win, attempting to safe play heavyweight entry, avoiding its champion. Okay, and I believe this is the last one that's important. I didn't mention PED results on multiple entrants, even though that makes me the clear #1 MMA GOAT, along with still being active. Although it shames, as well as puts all runs and finishes in complete doubt, I've snored multiple juice heads. A true GOAT must do it all. Okay, that's a lot to take in here. Let's try to talk about every tweet. Let's talk about the first one, where he talks about him and Silva. He puts Silva at #1, right? Because he has array of finishes across two divisions, champion in one. And then he says he is basically #1. And for sure will be by the end of his career, because he has array of finishes across two divisions with champion status in two. And #2, no, so, okay. Silva, let's break down this GOAT stuff, okay? He is only looking at, the achievements. He's not looking at the low, like the lows of these fighters, right? Especially his own. First of all, do I personally think he is the GOAT? No, I don't. Do I think he's better than any of these guys that he mentioned? No, I don't. These guys all have something he hasn't had. Consistency for several years. Activity for several years. This guy leaves and comes back, leaves and comes back. Win one, loses one, win one, loses one. He's not the GOAT. I'm not trying to hate. I didn't make this to hate on him, okay? He's one of the greatest of all time, okay? Don't get me wrong. But he's trying to, kind of push aside what's happened to him. Let's be honest here. He got choked up by a mediocre fighter, Nate Diaz. Well, I wouldn't say mediocre. Not trying to disrespect Nate. A guy that was never a champion, that was never in contention. That's someone who choked McGregor out. And he barely beat him a second time. Anderson, Jones, and GSP were all consistent for damn near decades. I think Jones for a decade now. What else? So yeah, the thing is, he's trying. He misses a lot of information, a lot of important pieces of information here. He's not consistent. He never defended any belt ever in his career, even in Cage Warriors, he never did. But I do give him this, he has won in all three different weight divisions in the UFC. You gotta give him that. And let's say he wins at 170. He definitely moves his way up in the rankings of the greatest of all time. Not saying he'll be the greatest of all time, but he'll be in the higher up on the list for sure. But yeah, he's kind of just trying to shove that, kind of just sweep that under the rug in a way. That's significant. He's really putting a lot of, weight on the amount of divisions that you've won in and belts you've won in. But you didn't really earn your 155-pound belt. You got straight shooter, straight to. You beat who? Diaz, and you got a straight shot to Eddie. Did you beat Khabib? Did you beat Barboza? Did you beat Ferguson? No, you didn't. So, I would say, being someone like John and only having one belt and being consistent for that much longer is more impressive than someone that beats Aldo, you know, and then he goes straight to 155 and beats Eddie. That's more impressive to me than what Mcgregor did. It was still amazing what he did. It's not like it was amazing things that he's done in the UFC. There's some amazing things that he's done in his career. But is he better than any of those guys? No, he's not. Okay. He's not better than Demetrius Johnson, in my opinion. He has flashes, like Luke Thomas said. I was watching his video on this. He has flashes of brilliance. Against Aldo, phenomenal. Against Cowboy, phenomenal. Against Eddie, phenomenal. But in my opinion, consistency is just important to me. You can't win one, lose one, win one, lose one. These other guys have losses. GSP lost twice. He avenged those. Silva avenged some, Conor avenged one loss to Diaz. He has yet to fight Khabib again, so we'll see how that goes, if that happens ever again. I don't know. I need to see more. I believe the greatest of all time has to be active for many, many years, and the king of the throne for many years. And whoever can do that more successfully and more impressively, in impressive fashion is a go. And it was more dominant in that run. Silva was pretty dominant. GSP was very dominant. Jones was very dominant. It's up for debate. I think Jones, I believe, is right there with for the record for most. For me, in my opinion, if I give my top 5, okay, number 1, I believe it's John Jones. I believe John is. And I'm gonna get to the PED stuff after. So let me give you my list. Jones, number 1. Number 2, GSP. Number 3, Silva. Number 4, Demetrius. And number 5, I would say DC. Daniel Cormier. So I don't think Conor's even better. He's not better than any one of those guys right now, like as far as on the list, in my opinion. Jones, he's number 1 because he's just done it for so long. He's beaten generations of light heavyweights, and so did GSP, and he avenged his losses. So in a way, he never lost to it. He beat every man he's ever faced, like Luke Thomas said. Silva just had one of the most dominant runs ever in MMA history. Complete domination in his heyday. Doesn't get much more dominant than Silva. Yeah, he fell off the throne, and yeah, he's kind of been shaky ever since. But wow, that was a hell of a run. Demetrius Johnson, the greatest. What's the lowest? Greatest flyweight of all time. He was very, very dominant. No one could really touch the man. It was kind of like he was the king of the throne, and he dominated just about every fight. Against Cejudo, by the way, that was debatable. Some people thought he won that fight, so he never got dominated. In his run, even in the end of his run. But he left, of course, and still having a good career and won championship. And finally, DC was undefeated at heavyweight for many, many years. Came to light heavyweight, was undefeated all the way up till John. John beat him twice, but he's beaten every other man he's ever fought. Yeah, Stipe beat him, but he beat Stipe as well. So he's beaten every man he's ever fought in his career. Might be the best heavyweight of all time. If he beats Stipe, in my opinion, he's the best heavyweight of all time. Right now it's Stipe because he beat him. Well, it's 1-1, so it's up for grabs between him and Stipe for greatest heavyweight. But DC is one of the greatest of all time. I believe he's the 5th best of all time. The only reason he's not above Demetrius is because Demetrius, held that title for so long and was so dominant. The only reason why he's not above Demetrius. But yeah. And because, he only had the belt because John wasn't there. Which moved me into my next discussion, PEDs, which Conor talked about here, right? Let me read it here. Yeah, he said I didn't mention PEDs, multiple entrants, and even though that makes me clear kind of you're not the number one or even top 5. First of all, although James as well puts all runs in the moment. I've snorted my multiple juice heads. I don't have any knowledge of that. But as far as John with the PEDs, there's never any test by the USADA that I'm aware of that said it was performance enhancing. Okay, so yeah, he had it in his system. You know, and people are gonna say, what about microdosing and all this? I'm gonna trust USADA more than I trust people that hate John, or you know, I trust USADA because they're a clean organization of taking down people like Barry Bonds and fucking, Neil Armstrong. So I've taken down bigger names than John Jones. So I'm gonna trust them. They say it was never performance enhancing. You know, I think he's a fuck up. I think he's not very careful with what he ingests. But he was never really on steroids, which were performance enhancing. You know, is there some doubt? I guess so. There's maybe a little. Not enough for me to take him out of the number 1 spot. You know, he's more of a fuck up to me than anything. But my GOAT criteria is who's the best in the octagon. Okay, Silva I know as well. But yeah, it's just not enough for me to take him out of there. But I get it. I mean, you can make the debate, yeah, PEDs, but I still think he's not better than GSP, Demetrius, or DC, which were both all clean. He's not better than any one of those guys. So, seems like Conor's trying to get attention here. But like I said, he's one of the greatest of all time, top 15 probably of all time, maybe even top 10. You can make a debate. But he's not the number 1. Not even close. Not even close. He has a lot to do in his career. For him to make it to number 1, he had to be Khabib. Defend at least a title. And maybe win at 170. Win the belt. Or just stay at 155 and defend it for a significant amount of time against world-class competition. Maybe he could pull it off. Because he still has his other accolades. 145-pound champion. One of the best performances in history against Aldo and Eddie. Won a fight at 170. So he's up there. He is up there. I'm not gonna say he's not a great because he's an all-time great. That's his facts. Even whether I like him or not, he's an all-time great. That's his facts. Best businessman in UFC history. He just had it down to the wire. He knew what he was doing. But yeah, I just wanted to speak on this. I just think he's kind of reaching here, kind of, shoving things down. He's kind of sweeping things under the rug, things that he shouldn't be sweeping under the rug. But yeah, that's my take on this. Let me know what you think. If you think I'm full of shit, be happy to let me know. If you think he's the GOAT, make a case in the comments. If you just want to talk shit, just comment. I really don't care. I just like people's feedback. Even the haters help out. You're still giving me a view at the end of the day. So, hate all you want. But yeah, man, I think it's going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just really wanted to touch up on this because it made a lot of noise in the, combat sports world. And, give us something to talk about here. Hope to see Mcgregor back soon. He looked world class in his last fight against Cowboy. He looked like a world beater. So we'll see where we go from here. But I think it's going to wrap it up, man. If you enjoyed my takes on this stuff, leave a like and subscribe to join the family. Once you subscribe, you're part of the family. We're the most versatile channel, too. But yeah, man. This is JD Wright with another video. Have a good one, y'all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.